So I see we have somebody here. I'm not really sure what I'm going to be putting on the stream tonight. If you want to stick around, if you want to take a look, I wasn't going to start till the 5 minute mark, and I have nothing planned. Just want to just open the air a little bit. So if you're looking out there and you're not really sure what you're looking at, you're actually looking at the ceiling. Looking at the ceiling. Ceiling. 10 Commandments. I mean, looking at the floor. We go a little bit deeper. Hopefully I don't unplug my camera. But we go a little bit deeper. We can get what's on the floor. What is this over here? This, okay, each row is 36 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then there's, sorry, I did it backwards. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, every time you go down a square, you're actually going down 3. Now, it'll create a rectangle, right? It creates a rectangle. See, what I do is I look into games, I look into sequences. Words can also create artwork in the connection between the letters. And it all depends also what you do with the letters. Many things you can do with the letters. There's different colors. There's odds and evens with the letters. There's one letter words. I stands for itself. There's 2 letter words, 3 letter words, 4 letter words, etc., etc., etc. And then it breaks down into syllables, and words become verbs and nouns and adjectives. And those are more categories, because every time you change a category or you say the category's name, like noun, the first letter in that realm is number 14, the letter N. We already know the inverted to N is M. So we know that there's a division connection between the two. And the reason for that is because in gematria, both the M and the N are next to each other. They're also polar letters, meaning that they're the closest from within or the furthest on the outside. The furthest on the outside is A and Z, but the actuality, is it really? Because in gematria, it becomes the inside and the outside, but it doesn't become the peak of the point of the pyramid, because that's where number 7 comes in. All in the artwork, all in the letters. Sometimes I'm on, sometimes I'm off. Just like to show you that this is one diagram. Okay, this is with no separations. You can see 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, right? 1 would be down here, correct? 1. And then the other one would be over here. So they crisscross over the 1 and 2 coming together in this scenario. In the other scenario in this artwork, and I have to do a bunch more to see if I have all the patterns, is this one over here. See, in this one over here, I decided that since odd and evens has a separation, I'm going to go 1, 3, 5, 7, 5, 3, 1. And one of the places I find this, okay, is not on here or on here, but on the grill over here, right over here. Remember what I was talking before? I'm going to see if I can remember what that is. I'm going to just give me a second. Wow. So yes, so this is going to tell you how many dots are on each side. And I'm just trying to see where I was going with this. I had something started and I sometimes seem to lose my place. So I'm going to just give me a second to look back on what I talked about for a second. Don't mind me. Okay, I'm just hoping my sound, I have to put my sound on. You, how many dots are on each side? And I'm just trying to see where I was. But yes, so this is going to tell you wow. So yes, so this is going to tell you how, okay, is not on here or on here.
right?
Okay, okay, I remember now. Okay, very good, very good, very good. This is what it is. Let me come back to, this is what it is. Because number one is a parent, okay, and it is a parent in number three, okay, and then it is a parent again in number five, the center. You see, there's one and two, and there's one and four. So one and two would create a half, and one and four would create a quarter. So the only time that we can create really the entire cube is when you come to one and four. And in between that is one and three. But one and three can be taken as this cube, okay, has one opposite side, and then here it's got two more opposite sides. See the way I have to hold it, right? Got two more opposite sides. So you have two parts and one part. You have the ring that goes around two parts, and then the pole. So the 1, 3 can be the expression. The 4 can be the 4 around the ring, and the 2 can be the up and the bottom. And that can be your 1/4, 1/2, and 1/3. We don't need to talk about 3/4 because if we have 1/4, we know the leftover is 3/4. So the expression inside of here is because 1, 3, 5, okay, has the dot in between, and the void is 2, 4, and 6. So what I do and what I did in this one over here, right? I'm wondering if I can, okay, you can't see it. Okay, I'm going to show you. So what it is see this over here. If you, in fact, I'm just going to show you right here on my paper. And we're going to do this. Here's one. This is gematria, 1 through 7. Once you hit 7, you come all the way down to 1. I try to find and configure what the alphabet does with words, and I have to understand what goes on in games. If I understand this in games, I can understand the story. When I come up with those numbers and I find a matching number to that, right? Where here it's 54 and here it's 54. The difference is 3 letters and 4 letters. But this word is very special because the actual value is this. They invert to each other. With these letters, I have to add on these letters. The invert of this is this. The invert of this is this. The invert of this is this. So there's 4 different letters. Sorry, 3 different letters and 3 different letters. There's 6 different letters. But in here, there's only the opposite of L is O and V is Z. So anyways, we have 1 dot here, the 1 dot here, and the one, whoop, no, we're not going to count that one. We're going to put this one over here, and then we're going to go this one over here. And what it is, this is 1, this is 3, this is 5. Where's number 2? But before we go to 2, we just spoke about 1. The numeric value for the word 1 is 34. For the word 3, okay, it is 56. For the word 5, it's 42. So you notice 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11. 7, 11, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7 come 11. And this is 99. So right away, if I'm going to configure 99, I'm going to say 13. The value of 13 is 99, and man at 13 gets barred at the bar mitzvah. And the game that's played with the cube, right, you bar 66. So now we're going to go ahead and put 2 over here, and then we're going to connect 4 over here, and then 6 is going to connect here. So what happens is 6 connects 5, 7, where 4 connects 3, 5, to where 2 connects 1, 3. This is how that connection works. And then we do it on the other side over here. And that'll be 6. And that'll be 4. And that'll be 2. So if we want to talk about where 8 is, here's 8 right over here. So 8 is connected to 6, 7, 6. The numeric value for Mars is 51. The numeric value for, whoop, I make mistakes. for Earth is 52. The word sept means 7 in French. September is the 9th month, and it totals 103, as Mercury totals 103. Also, the initials JC, we can be talking about who has initials of JC. Don't tell me Jesus Christ, right? JC, 10 and 3. 13. 10 and 3, 13. So that was 8 is connected with 6, 7, 6, and where 5, 6, and 5, 6 are connected. And then we ask ourselves, do we get to the retirement age of 65? There's another thing about the retirement age at 65, 23,741. And if I remember, 25 days for that many years, counting the leap years, if we count them all. Also, the word 3 and the word 7 are inside of these two areas. 3 equals 56, 7 equals 65. It also equals to white. So we also have to understand how the numbers connect together. So let's take these two numbers over here. Just to note that when you look at the deck of cards, the 8, 7, and 6, okay, all retain this design. And then with the 7, you put this, and then with the 8, you put both of them. So now what we're going to do is we're going to extend that and go to the queen, the king, and the jack. The queen, 62, the king, 41, the jack, 25. The queen, 8, the king, 7, the jack, 6. To 8, 7, and 6, or to 6, 7, and 8, okay, is your passage 555. 8 and 6 is 14. 7 and 7 is 14. And 6 and 8 again is 14. 1 and 4 equals to 5. It becomes 5-4. Love and the sun, it becomes the EIT system. If you want to call enlightenment, because inside the word, it's how we became to be enlightened through the numbers. When you understand why does the queen get 8? Because the queen has 4 suits. And in all the suits, they have 2 eyes. The king also has 4 suits, but 3 suits times 2 eyes and 1 suit times 1 eye. And the jack has 2 suits of 2 eyes and 2 suits of 1 eye, equaling to 6, 7, and 8. And that's where I get my numbers from. I get them from the reality, the world we live in. Just let me get something to drink. I'll come back. The world we live, these are all the work that I do has to do with what's going on in the world. And some of the artwork I added in and I say, does this work? Does this work? The reason I separate my numbers when I'm working 1, 3, 5 is because they're the only ones with the center dot. The other ones do not. So they connect it. And if you take a look a little bit deeper, I'm not sure if we can see it here, but it looks like, see the way it looks like it's going down? See the way maybe it looks like it's going this? I'm trying to figure out how we can try and understand that dimension. Just got to see which way I can put the camera to see the, maybe if I color it in somehow, I can bring out that dimension. But anyways, irregardless, to note that when 66 meets over here, I think I have to fix my, when 66 meets, oh God. So this block over here, and this here, this 88 has 88 inside, okay? Now what happens is this area is a 6 and this area is a 6. By putting the block over this, it connects 7 and 6 and 6. And if you look at it this way, it's 880 or just 80, 88 or 80. 8 times 8, 8, 8. 8 times 8, 8 plus 8 equals 64, and 16 equals to 80. 8 plus 0 equals 8. 8 becomes 8, remains 8. But in the meantime, This one over here becomes 76. This one becomes 24 and 10. At the same time, we're going to go 1 and 7, and it becomes what Q is. When it takes over the barred 66, and 66 stands for woman, and then this word over here, 6, 24, 34, 4, 19, 32 equals 66. Let me see if I got this right. Did I do that right? Yeah. So remember 17. The other way to get 17 is the numeric value for Earth and Jack equals 10 and 7 equals 17. 5 times 2, 5 plus 2 equals that. The invert is 10J. That's a Jack. The mirror comes about over here. We mirror only because of A, B, C, D. 1 plus 2 plus 3 equals 6. The 60 seconds on the clock. Plus 4 equals to 100 or 10. So it equals to 10. So when you get the D, it equals to JD. 10-4 communication, Roger Rabbit. It went around, and then it met at this point over here for the complete communication. Or you can go A, B, C, and D starts again where A is. And it's the same thing for A, B, C, and then here it goes over here, D. Now this is going to get complicated. Try and think of this. Where's the calculator? Well, I don't know if I want to get onto this, but there's so many things spreading out. What happens is the Mayans count, right? The Mayan count between 7 and 13. That's the way their wheel works, right? See the way it connects over here, right? So what happens is we have 9 and 4 connecting, equaling to 13, and then we have 7 and 6 equaling to 13. And the opposite of that is where 1 and 6 connect, equal to 7, to where 4 and 3 connect, equaling to 7. So this is the way the Mayans have one of their calendar, the way the clocking works on their calendar. But that's not only it, because 8 and 5 is 13, and 2 and 5 is 7. You notice here we don't repeat anything, but over here we do. We repeat the 55. In the spirit of 76, which equals to 42 and 13, is what equals to that 25 and 29. We cannot forget this, right? The 2 can be inverted to a 5. The 9 can be inverted to a 6. We've been seeing this forever. This is for young people. This is not, you can't be overly smart with this. You have to see it the way it is. Now, all these 13s will become 3 and 4 or 4 and 3. And the reason for that is because 1 times 3 equals to 3. 1 plus 3 equals to 4. So this is what the math tells me, right? And that becomes, like we showed before, where's that 6 times 4? Did I do that? No, I didn't do it. The 6 times 4, 6 plus 4 equals 24, equals to 10, equals to 34. The number 1 equals to 34. And that is the inside of this cube. It is the house we live, the house of DC, the house of mass and area space. Using these cubes and knowing the value of certain words is what lets me to tell this story. Let's see if I can come back to that when I finish this last part. Now, since 6 and 8 come together, and when you play the game of craps, it's 7 out, we're going to show you that number 2 and number 4 is going to create 6. So if we have 4 and 2, 6, then we have to have 3 and 5, 8. So let's see if that's possible, 3 and 5, 8. So now we have 6 and 2, 8. So now we're going to have 1 and 5 equals to 6. 1 and 5 equals to 6. So now we can go to one of the last ones where 4 and 4 equals to 8, to where 3 and 3 equals to 6. And 6 and 8, the word house, planet, both valued at 6 and 8. Now, if you want to find this mathematically, we'd have to get there through its own numbers. 2 times 4, 8. 2 plus 4, 6. What can we do with 2 and 4? Well, the word cat equals to 24. In the house we live is dog equaling to 26. It's also referencing the queen. If you go 2662, it now represents purple, bringing together red and blue. Blue boy Democrat, demolition, red Republican, devil, girl. So here we have the queen, which is number 62. So what we're going to show you now is it comes into the same area, 6 and 8. So what if we were working with 6 and 3, right? In order to get 9, we would get 1 and 4 equaling to 5. So we pick up the dice. We got 1 and 4 equaling to 5. And then we have this one over here, 5 and 4 equaling to 9. And then we're going to have 2 and 3, okay, is going to equal to 5. The ram. E-I-E-I-O, love. That's what it says. The area space that's void, calculated based on this and on this, tells me there's 9. So I know 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. I know what I'm working with over here. So if we're going to look at 9 and we know the 5 is the opposite of 9, I also know that this area over here, number 5, is connected to number 6, which is connected to number 8. But number 5 is not connected to number 8. It is connected 3 parts in 1 to number 6. This area over here, as 6 is connected into 7. And 8 overcomes it, creates a window, right? You ever hear of window? Have you ever heard of the word window? By the way, this would be Mars. Mars only gets 1 stick. Mars, when it comes down to this planet, this is the way Mars has to be run in Earth, on this angle. If it's not that angle, it would have to be, 1 second. There's a chance that it has to be on this angle here. This angle over here. Should I go all the way through? Did I go all the way through? The reason for this is because 9 and 4 equals to 13. I'm going to see if I have that gearing thing. I know there's a whole bunch. I'm going fast. I got to go slower. There's so many things going on. Everything has a reason. There's stories and everything. Everything has a reason for it. When we understand the separation, the 110, the stories went down at 110. 110 and 110 is 220. There's 140 degrees left over. 70 and 70. So when 110 went down, 220, in order to make 360 degrees, you have 7, 70, and 70. And if you take a look at 7, 11, it's talking about this cube. Do you follow what I'm saying? 110 stories, 110 degrees, it doesn't matter. We have to be able to use the numbers in every place possible, like it's a labyrinth of numbers. Let me get something to drink. I'm going to come back. We'll talk a little bit more, see if I can come up with something. Everything is pertinent. Everything has a reason. We need a supercomputer to just fill up all this information with all these equations. In fact, I left this equation, I think, in the car. I'm not sure if I talked about it. Number 86. Okay. It's also this number over here. Remember 86 and a minute and 26. I mean, even the age of retirement, everything has a reason. Everything fits somewhere. Everything was created because that's how creation became what it is. That's how it became calculable. That's how the vibration moves. Okay, let me just see if I can. Okay, I'm shutting down some of the lights. I don't like it so bright. Electricity is great. You know what I'm saying? Electricity is good. Electricity is great.
Depends. All depends. Everything always depends. Okay, it's getting a little late. I had nothing prepared, but I did want to finish with this.
So window 23 and 9 is 32 and 14. 23, 32, and 14. 46. 23 for N, 23 for W. So when you can do that, I also have a new equation for this. One letter and two letters. It can either be 9, 18, or 27. A single letter gets 9, a double letter gets 18. That's just the way it is, 1 through 9. Now, if you're working in a different alphabetical sense in Chaldean, you would give it 16 because you can't have more than 8. And if you work in gematria, it would be 7. If you work against the alphabet, right, this would be 54. And this would be 27. Singular letter reverse. 27 and 54, 1 and 2. So if we're referring to 1, you're always going to go and refer to the single dot 1, and anything that's even, you're going to refer to as 2. The word do, 23 and 19 equals to 42. So window equals to 88, and windows equals to 107, which evaluates at 20. It also evaluates for what is 17 is 5 by 2. And it's also what is 88, 64, and 16 to the single division of the calculation. 1 and 6 is 7, 6 and 4 is 10, 1 plus 0 is 1. So your 17 is there, your 17 is here. Do the 5 by 2 equals 10, plus the 5 times 2 equals to 10, and the 5 plus 2 equals to 07. We also get the extension through 99 when it equals 81 and 18. Although it reverts back to 99, the 1 times 8 and the 1 plus 8 equals to 8 and 9, equaling to what is 17. Now, I didn't even talk about number 11 yet. We did not talk that it is the K letter. We did not count that the valuation and the letter sequence gives us a 63. So it's the letter I. So it's 911. Nothing for nothing. To where even 7 is in 11, to where you have S versus L. Maybe that's where the salt comes in. Because sel in French is salt. And what we do is you can put 7, 11, 7, 11 to change the word of even. So if you have 10, 32, 46, you would have 17 equaling to 63. Otherwise, you would use 19 and you would be at 65. So this is the word 7, that's the word 11. That's pretty funny. You would have 11 here and 9 here. You see that? 911 comes from the word all by changing it 711 becomes 911. 7 by 7, 7 plus 7, 7 times 11 equals 77. 7 plus 11 equals to 18. That equals to 95, which we are going to go to Neptune, Einstein, and 1776 relationship, and also to the magical wheel right here, this magical wheel. 21, 35, 66, 75, 1776, 51, 57, 57, 75. Very special number. Very special number. Single digit count, a total count, Jesus, energy, time, Jesus, energy, time. Here is the moon, here is electric, here is the matter, and here is the Christ in the mightiest. What else do we have? What didn't I not do in this video? Yes, we showed how now number 9 goes over here, but I know nobody showed up right from before. So what happens 9, just changing back to the scenario we didn't finish, where 5 is over here and 5 is over here. 7 is over here, but 7 ends right there. After that, on this side, it's 9. It goes by twos. It overlaps. It goes by twos. Let me see if I can do it again. If I have 7 here, then this will be 9, this will be 11, and this will be 13. So if this was 7, let me do this up higher over here. Let's say 7, and then over here is 5, and then over here is 3, and then over here is 1. And we're going to do the same thing over here. I did this before. We're going to do it again. And because there's a dot on the 1, 3, and 5, it's telling me evens and odds. So I'm only going to use 1, 3, 5, and then use this as 7, 5, 3, and then 1. So what would it be? What would this be? This would be 7. This would be 9. This one over here will be 11, right? But 1 and 1 equals to 2. This one will be 13. 1 and 3 equals to 4. So what we're going to do now is if we see 9, 6 and 3, 9, and it's in the 5 area. So this has to be 4 and 1, 5. So if we have 2 and 3, 5, then we have to have 5 and 4, 9. So now where does 8 and 6 go? Well, over here is 6, and over here is 6. And over that, we're going to connect number 8. So when you connect number 8, you connect the 8. And what's connected with the 8? You have the 6, 7, 6, 9. That is what is connected with the 8. Now the 6 is going to be connected to the 5 on each side. That's your connection right over here. That's a gematria account. So when we're going down deeper, you have number 29. And when you have the 11 area, you have it over here. 3 goes with 11. Is that possible that 3 can go with 11? Can 3 go with 11? Well, here we have 1 and 2 equals to 3. And we're going to take this dice and see if we can flip it over. And it goes 6 and 5, 11. 1, 1, 3. So now what about the next one? We have 13 on the bottom row. There is no 13. There is no 13. What can we do? There is something else. There's when you have 10, you will have 4. So what does that mean? 10 equals 1 plus 0 equals 1. So I'm in row number 1 right over here. Now, is it an excuse? Is it because I can't get it? What's actually going on? I have to dig a little bit deeper to understand it when I get to that row, but it's still number 13 on row number 1. So if I went to number 1 and number 1, okay, do I have a number 13? Do I have another 13? I don't have another 13. I turn it over to go 6 and 6. 6 and 6 is 12, plus 1 is 13, but I'd have 2 of them. So we're just going to have to think of something else for that area other than what I just mentioned, okay, that the 10 equals to the 1, and the 10, right, is opposite of the 3 and 1. Or remember, this will create what is, I'm not going to get into that, but this is going to create what is 1 and 3, 13, right? 10, 1 and 3 could look like 13. So there's something of wishy-washy in there, some other story I can't actually explain. So we did a little bit of this. I didn't do number 11. I can talk real quick on 11. I thought I was going to do some stuff on 11, but I'm getting a little bit tired. In order to get 11 in numbers, we have to go 2 and 9, 11, 3 and 8, 11, 4 and 7, 11. 5 and 6, 11. So now this is all 11, but 5 times 6 equals to 30. 4 times 7 equals to 28. All our entire cycle runs over here. This also has something to do with the days of the week. 7 days and then 4 days, because 4 days is the kayo, is the nut. You might have 3 extra, but you need the nut in the center, and that would be Wednesday, which connects 3 days to the left and 3 days to the right, bringing you to the split weekend of 1, 5, and 1 days, right? Which is actually could be looked at as this, or can be looked at as this, can be looked at as this, and this, which is going to refer to Earth and Mars. This one would be Earth, because Earth's numeric value is 5 and 2, and Mars' numeric value is 5 and 1. Although this is 6 in Roman numerals, I count it to a single digit, and I don't have to put L1 and L11. Being it that this will be 21 and this will be 30. And the total together is 51. Again, the total together is expressing Mars. And at the same time, it's going to be 24 and 27. That's correct. That would be the bottom of the ninth inning when the visitors have been up to bat for 27 outs and the home team is coming to the plate in the ninth inning. But if you play the entire game where the visitors win, when the visitors win, there's always going to be 54 outs, and that's in the sun. Love in the sun, playing baseball, right? And you play baseball now under the dome so you don't get the rain. If you don't understand that theory and what else it is, Mars is also part of Windows over here. Mars is part of Windows. It's part of Pegasus. It's part of our barring of the 6 through 88. The reverse of 88 is 66. As we've seen on this cube, we'll just do one of them. If you have an 8, you have a 6. What 6 do you have? I have 5 and 1, 6. I have 2 and 4, 6. I have 3 and 3, 6, as I spoke before. This will be for the word mass. You know, Sam needs you. This will give you your rotation in the sun, 6 and 9. The reason for that is the artwork that shows me that. And then we're going to look at the artwork for the 6, and it shows me that. Now it shows me a percentage sign, and at the same time, it's showing me number 8. But if you give it a little bit of form, it almost looks like it's telling you a little bit more of an entry point. And then we can maybe make it spin, right? And then we'd have something like that. And then we can just probably keep adding things on and get a building into the center of the 2 towers. So where are we? Did we understand what 7 and 11 is? Which way should I look at this? Well, one thing to look at when you look at 7-11 is that the opposite side of these dice, if you look at 4, you're going to have 3, right? So just give me a second. There are 3 times 7 on the dice, and there's 3 times 11. If we count 3 and 3 as 6, there's 3 that are not here, and that would be right over here. The 3 in the center are empty. So that would be 6 and 3, 8 and 1. It'd be 7 and 4, and it would be 6 and 5 equals 11 equals 7 equals 11 equals 7 equals 11 equals 7. Everything I do has already been created somewhere. We're using it all the time. Let me look what happened to my chats. No one's chatting. Okay. So your entire cube is all about this. So you end up, right, with 21 and 33. But since there's north and south, and then there's the ring, right? You're going to be set up by 22 and 11, opposite sides. These two opposite, these two opposite. Around here, you'll have 22 empty spaces, okay? And here, you're going to have 7 dots and 11 empty spaces. Now, that's not exactly the way it goes because, let's see, did I do that right? Right, yes, it does. That's the way it goes. The only true 7 is over here. 8 and 3, 5 and 4. Let me see if we got that right. This one's 11. And then there's the math that goes with it. This one over here is special. This all has to do with our gateway, our passage, our energy, Jesus Christ, our cycles. But Valentine's ends up over here. Also here, because this is our 3rd and 8th finger. We also have to learn to count and understand our fingers. Mars ends up over here with Valentine's. Earth ends up over here. Earth ends up 2 and 5 on the cross. 6 is also part of the cross. And 4 is on the bottom. You see, we have 4 and 4 here. 5 is used here. Is 1 and 6 used here? Yeah, we have 6 down here. So they're interchanging these. But here, this is where the dot is. Here, this is where the void is. Yes, it's a 3 dot and a 6 void. So this one would be, and also this one here, right, would be a representation of both Earth and Mars. 1 times 6, 1 plus 6. And the total is 13 and 42, and it's multiplying, giving us our freedom 55. If you minus it, it gives you 29. It becomes the IT system of birth. How does, ask me, I'm not sure where to go with this, how to explain what it means. In this part over here, it becomes the AI, and there becomes a king over here, because the word king and home are over here. The total over here is 19 for AI, and everything that plays in AI is BH, which is 2 and 8. And then creation of the gateway, CG, which is 3 and 7. But then you would have CGI, right? Anytime you have 8, you automatically have 9. So 2, 8, and 2, 9 come together because of the design of the letters. And then over here, you have D, you have DE. Is that what it is? Sorry, DF. DF over here. DF, Zion, Israel, which is 4 and 6, creates 24, the letter X, and 0, not 03, and 10. Roman numerals for the 10 equals to X for 34. Number 1 equals to 34. And it's ironic, number 6 equals to 52. And all the sides of these dice are exactly that, 1 and 6, 1 opposite of 6, in which creates 3 and 4, right? 3 and 4, 3 and 4, right? That's what 1 does. And then the 6 makes 5 and 2. See that, 5 and 2, and that's what the 6 makes. So it's funny, we just need these two to explain the rest. I guess I'm going to end the video now. If there's a little participation, I'm starting to lose my bearings a little bit. I'm not sure where I should be going next with this. Pieces and parts, all about 11. There's more that's going to go on because there's more math. I just want to show you something really, really short, is that if you want to do any kind of art, you can just do something that's easy. You can just write a word, right? And if you write the word like this, you want to put the letter H, you must do this. It's an automatic. Once you do that, it's automatically telling you that it's an uneven number, right? It's going to have an area space void. It's going to represent Earth. When it has an even area, it's going to represent Mars. So now you know, is Earth is odd and Mars is even, or Earth is even and Mars is odd. Not one over here is going to tell me about Mercury. This one is going to tell me about Venus, which is going to tell me about the 2 moons of Mars. And one is going to tell me the one moon of Earth. We have Luna, and then we have Deimos and Phobos. Anyways, I'm getting a little bit tired. There's so many things I seem to rant and I talk about so many things and I'm not very direct, but there's just so much. For those who don't know, that the year last year was 2022, the 20th letter and the 22nd letter. The 7th letter in gematria is G. The 22nd letter, okay, the invert letter to V is E. The invert letter to T is G, and this is the answer, which is representing electric moon. Go represents ape, as it represents bust, and bust happens all the way to 26 because of following the rules of blackjack. You can pull a 10 on a 16, but everybody stops on 17 and 27 becomes the gate. So that's why they tell you to stop. Otherwise, you're out of norm of the rules and regulations that they're teaching us about this world through the games. Baseball, hockey, football, soccer, basketball, doesn't matter what it is. There's all rules and regulations, which creates a formation, and it tells us stories and etc., etc. I want to thank you for the soul that is here right now, for the souls that will be coming. Ask me any questions if you'd like to help support the channel to keep me up and going and out of the grindstone elsewhere, but here where we can, where I'd like to believe that through, this is for arts and entertainment purposes only. I shouldn't reiterate that enough, that the truth is within what comes out of it, and it's not me other than how can I say this, than turning the gears of its own truth. Thank you for watching. Just to note, be well. Have a good night.